All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in again. I'm Dave, and this is Save America, Vote Tulsi Gabbard. Well, we are post-debate. I did my first breakdown earlier this morning. I wanted to do it last night, but everybody in my house was asleep, and I didn't think it was fair to wake everybody up. This from the Hill, which I'm surprised the Hill carried this. And this is going to, by the way, this is going to drive the TYT people insane. It's going to drive any of the tribalist, so-called Democrats, whatever they are, fake lefties, warmongers. There's a new hashtag trending. It's Elizabeth Warren, and W-A-R of her last name is all in caps. I love that. She's got the name, Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren did not win the debate last night. Nobody, even the pundits who work for Comcast, didn't think she won the debate. However, Matt Drudge basically took a poll. Drudge instant poll shows Gabbard winning Democratic debate in a landslide. Okay, so for all of us who are hoping, and by the way, I was very skeptical going into this, that she would have this kind of impact. But when you think, who else is on the stage? Remember I did this video where I said everybody else is a lightweight? Or at least I did a tweet about it. I said, these people are all lightweights. The only one up there you got to worry about is Warren. And Warren did get the floor more than anybody else. Now, I know Julian Castro, he got some trending on Twitter for a little while, but that's quickly faded. Because anybody with, a sizable cranium would know, brain inside there, would know that Julian Castro is not going to be the president of the United States. Now, let's read this, and then we'll, of course, talk about the Drudge Report, and then we're going to have to talk about Russia. See, this is where all this stuff comes from, and it's not going to stop. The conservative Drudge Report's instant poll shows Rep. Now, the Drudge Report's been around for decades now, right? It's been around since the 90s, from what I remember. And Drudge gets a lot of stuff right, whether you like it or not, whether you follow it or not. He does reporting. Yes, he has a bias, but he does reporting. Anyway, so the Drudge instant poll shows Tulsi Gabbard as the biggest winner of the first night of the Democratic presidential debates, with nearly 45% of the vote just after 8 a.m. Now think of that. She's on stage with, 9 other people, and she's got 45% of the vote. The unscientific online poll shows Senator Elizabeth Warren, who was pushed, cheerleaded. Please, more Elizabeth Warren. We need her to talk more. Come on, Lizzie, answer the question. Answer it more. I mean, they gave her so much floor time. No other candidate had as much floor time and did so little with it. And that's the difference. Tulsi got an opportunity. They asked her about, identity politics, equal pay, blah, 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 blah. And what did she do? She told everybody who she was, what she wanted to do, and how she was going to do it. Fantastic strategy. Fantastic. And nobody came back to and said, but you didn't answer the question. Everybody was just cheering, and the debate people, here's the dilemma they had. Because if they had asked a follow-up, that would have given Tulsi another opportunity, and they were trying like heck not to give her any air. They didn't want to give her any breathing room whatsoever. So anyway, the unscientific poll shows Senator Elizabeth Warren at a distant second, very distant second, 11.2%. And this is the candidate that the media has been foisting upon us now for weeks. Followed by Rep. John Delaney at 8. See, that's how you know this poll, okay, it's like a mixed bag. You're getting some weird results here. John Delaney, who a lot of progressives were swearing at for the entire night, but I mean, he had 8.6 and de Blasio had 7. Now, I was actually kind of surprised at de Blasio's performance. He's not going to be president, but he actually stepped in a couple of times and made some sense. I can't stand the guy because he's a political opportunist and he's not doing a good job running New York City. So you have to look at those things. But in any event, at the bottom of the poll, our former Rep. Beto O'Rourke, yes, Cory Booker with less than 4%. And here we go, is another line. Gabbard, an Iraq War veteran, gained attention for an exchange with rival Rep. Tim Ryan after the Ohio congressman said the Taliban was behind the 9/11 attacks. The reality of it is the United States is not engaged. The Taliban will grow, and we will have a bigger, bolder terrorist act. We have got to have some presence there, Ryan said. In response, Gabbard said that the Taliban was there long before we came in and will be there long after we leave. Amen. And everybody, we cannot keep U.S. troops deployed to Afghanistan thinking that we are going to somehow squash this Taliban, she said. I didn't say squash them. Well, what are you going to do? Hang out with them and have a couple of beers? Hey, Taliban, come on down. The beer is cold. When we weren't in there, they started flying planes. Yeah, when we weren't in there, they started, you know what? Rumor has it is, when we started going in different places, we basically, rattled the hornet's nest. That's one theory as to why they did what they did. The other, of course, is that it's an inside job, but I'm not going to pursue that right now. And, I'm already probably going to get demonetized, so I can't talk that way. It's just, we cannot keep U.S. troops deployed to Afghanistan thinking that we are going to somehow squash this Taliban. And then, of course, the Taliban didn't attack us on 9/11. Al-Qaeda did. Thank you. Tulsi Gabbard, zing. Remember I told you about zingers in one of my videos? That was the zinger of the evening. She owned it. Okay? And she made Tim Ryan look like Paul Ryan. Okay? That's exactly what happened. Tim Ryan ends up looking like Paul Ryan. And game over, by the way, for Tim Ryan. He's toast. He's done. His presidential campaign ought to just shut down today. It probably won't because, pride comes before the fall. Gabbard is at just, look at this. Here's the propaganda. She's at just 0.8% in the Real Clear Politics Index. It's funny how somebody who's at just 0.8% in the polls can just mysteriously come out of nowhere. Does this kind of remind you of like Donald Trump winning the presidency? Well, Hillary's got what, a 98% chance of winning? And Trump wins. So, I'm not going to say we shouldn't look at polls. Trailing front-runner Joe Biden by more than 31 points. So she's 31 points behind Biden. I think she can make the difference up. I think she can. She was also the most searched candidate on Google Trends during Wednesday night's event in Miami. There it is. Gabbard previously was only most searched in her home state of Hawaii. Warren was most searched pre-debate, but then when people got a load of what Warren was shoveling during the debate, post-debate, they could care less about Elizabeth Warren. This is funny. Now, if you go over to Twitter, look at the stuff. The angry liberal here, the Drudge Report, has linked to Russian propaganda websites nearly 400 times since 2012. And here's the link. Tulsi Gabbard wins this poll. This is Russian. This is a Russian poll. Incredible. Profiling Russian propaganda repeatedly for years. And of course that comes from the Daily Beast. And they want to do everything they can to squash, not the Taliban, but Tulsi Gabbard's candidacy. So there you go. Tulsi Gabbard wins debate. That's my headline. Gonna see how quickly it takes for the powers that be to demonetize this video. And then I, of course, will take a screenshot of that demonetization, and I will send it over to YouTube where you guys can retweet and tweet it over to the folks at YouTube Creators, who have now left a video of mine unmonetized or demonetized for over 2 days. The video is approaching 4,000 views, and I've seen this much ad revenue from it. So it doesn't pay to be anti-war. It doesn't pay. I mean, you think saving people's lives would be, you know, a good thing to try to do. But apparently in America in the year 2019, anti-war is not a good thing. Just not a good thing. Tulsi Gabbard wins debate. That's my headline. It's going up. YouTube, get ready. Here it comes.